time, the mayor, could you step forward for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you ready? Go.
Good morning or good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Sewell. I'm home in Selma, Alabama, and we just concluded a federal agency meeting update with the city of Selma, Dallas County, just giving our citizens of Selma an understanding of what has been going on since the January storm. I think all the citizens of Selma know that we experienced something like no other. But I want you all to know that the federal government made assurances through President Biden that he would have our backs. And in fact, he has. And so today, we provided the citizens of Selma and the elected officials with an update, a federal update of what's been going on within all the federal agencies. That federal update included FEMA, it included Delta Regional Authority, SBA, USDA, HUD, and we were very, 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 very pleased at the report that the mayor gave us and the citizens of Selma, Danielle and others, about where we stand on our applications for grants. Now, do know that the recovery process is a long process, and that process is definitely a marathon and not a sprint. But it takes hard work and dedication, not just from federal partners, but from local, state, and federal, as well as our nonprofits and our faith-based organizations. We've been very blessed here in Selma. From the moment the storm hit, we had so many people who wanted to come and help us. I think we also learned that we have to help ourselves, that we have to be neighbor helping neighbor in order to make sure that we have those relief. And that's still a process, because while FEMA and SBA have awarded millions of dollars out, let us be clear, there are a lot of people who still need, and we know that. And we know that we're going to be here for the long haul. As your Congresswoman, I want you to know that I have been relentless in my determination to make sure that the federal government, every resource that's possible to come to the city of Selma, can try to come to the city of Selma. And I look forward to going back to Washington on Monday. The topic of conversation is the budget, and I look forward to putting in my requests to support the supplemental disaster assistance that the president has already indicated. He was in Florida just this past week, or the other day, and he made a point of saying that he was going to go to Congress and ask for $100 billion more for disaster assistance. I look forward to putting my request in that Selma gets its fair share of this supplemental disaster assistance. I also know that the resources that the federal government has comes through really important agencies. So knowing where to go to ask for what resource is critically important. That's why it was important for me to have this meeting today, so that the citizens of Selma and the elected officials could all hear from these agencies where we stand and where we want to go. And where we want to go is we want to see Selma to come back bigger, better, stronger, greener than ever. And I think we can get there. I know we can get there. And the little we can is if we work together. With that, I'll turn it over to the mayor, and after the mayor, probate judge Nunn.
Well, I've had an opportunity to say thank you, but you can never say thank you enough for the work that is being done at the federal level. From the moment we received 100% declaration support from President Biden, the Congresswoman was on the ground, walking the streets, actually engaging, and I've seen a side of the Congresswoman Sewell that I didn't know existed. She is not a fighter, she's a warrior for Selma, and I really appreciate that. And all of the agencies that are actually working with us, you're not being overlooked. DRA, USDA, SBA, HUD, all of you really are not being overlooked. The local relationships that we have with our county, thank you. And with our housing authority, I can't say enough about the work that we're getting done as it relates to restoring the housing that are needed for our citizens here in the community. And so I pause again to just say thank you. Let's continue this work. It is some heavy lifting. We did talk about not only the things that we have accomplished, but we did also share some of the challenges that we have. And I do know that that the people in Washington are hearing us, and we keep, like you said, you have to keep saying it over, keep pushing it, and keep pressing it in order for something to happen. And that's what we'll continue to do to make certain that we're not overlooked, that we're not undervalued and underestimated, because really the needs are great. But I do say also that we are resilient, that we are strong people. We've been through some tough times. We'll have some more tough times, but we will make it through. So again, thank you so very much, for the work that you do for us. Thank you so much.
Let me say good afternoon, everyone. It's just good to be here, and I want to first ditto and go back and reiterate everything that has been stated by the mayor and by the others, that we will want to thank Congresswoman Sewell for her service that she's providing to her hometown, Selma, Alabama. So we appreciate her for what she is doing for Dallas County, and even the commissioners, we appreciate you for the services that you are providing. Valley Grande, the city of Selma, and Orville, all of them are within Dallas County. But we, as Dallas County, we know that when one hurt, all hurt. When one city hurt, everyone, or one part of your body hurts, then all of it hurts. So we just thank God that the resources from January the 12th has been pouring into Dallas County and the city of Selma. It makes a difference when you know that somebody cares about you. It doesn't make a difference how they don't care how much you know, but they want to know that you care about them. And we appreciate all of the entities from the federal level all the way down to the local level. We appreciate what we are doing for Selma, Alabama. And I also would say that although we have all of these resources coming into the city of Selma, somebody stated that we also must help ourselves. No matter how much someone wants to help you, you have got to help yourself also. So I appreciate providing these resources and guidelines how to be able to get to the resources so that we can take it back out to the community. When we receive the calls from our constituents, we will know who to put them in contact with. But thank you from the federal level all the way down to the local level.
Thank you. So when President Biden came to Selma in March, he came not only in commemoration of the march from Selma to Montgomery, but most importantly, he came to see the damage that had been done to Selma, and he made a commitment. He made a commitment to the mayor, to the judge. We welcomed him at Craig Air Force Base, and he made a commitment that the federal government would be here helping Dallas County and Selma as long as we needed help. And to fulfill that commitment, 3 days later, he sent Mitch Landrieu. And Mitch Landrieu, former mayor of New Orleans, has been heading up President Biden's infrastructure. He's an infrastructure czar for the Biden administration. And he tasked Mitch to gather all of the federal resources and to coordinate a federal response. Let's just think about this. A federal response to a city of 19,000 people. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. It's unprecedented. It's an unprecedented amount of help. And so he asked Delta Regional Authority to be that federal coordinating agency. And we know that Delta Regional Authority has been a longtime friend to the Black Belt and to rural communities across the Southeast. And for sure, the Delta Regional Authority has been our partner in so many of the endeavors that we've done here in Selma. So he sent us a hometown team. He did. He sent us a hometown team. And I want to thank Dr. Wiggins, who is the executive director of the Delta Regional Authority, the administrator of the Delta Regional Authority. If he would please come up and say a few words about what the Delta Regional Authority has been doing on behalf of the citizens of Selma and Dallas County.
Well, again, like most folks have done before me, Congresswoman, thank you for hosting this event. Mayor, thank you again for welcoming to your city. We have a unique opportunity to see the vertical integration of government working at its best. What does that mean? When you have local government, county government, state government, and federal partners at the table, all working in a collaborative way, focus on how do we support the residents and citizens of Selma. How do we leverage federal investment in a way to improve quality of life, focusing on housing, workforce development, and infrastructure. That's a unique opportunity because that doesn't always happen. And I'm so excited to be here, to be in Selma once again, to not only talk about the work we're doing, but also to share with the citizens the work that's been done thus far, and the continued commitment by this administration, by our federal partners, by Delta Regional Authority to see it through. So we look forward to this being not the end point, but just a point in a long-lasting relationship to support sustainable, equitable economic development here in the city of Selma. Thank you.
We also have had the Small Business Administration so helpful in all that they do. We have Michael Lampton, who will speak on behalf of SBA. I want to thank the SBA. They, like FEMA, like our Delta Regional Authority, HUD, and USDA, have been on the ground since the very beginning of the tornadoes, and I know that they will be there for as long as we need them. And I just want everyone to know that help is here. And if you need help, call us. Call the mayor's office, call my office, call Probate Judge Nunn's office. If you still need help and resources, there are help and resources available. We see you, we are here, and we are here to help. With that, I'll bring up the SBA, Mr. Langton.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Congresswoman Sewell, for inviting us here to be a part of this update for the community here. As she indicated, we're part of the federal family in terms of bringing assistance and resources to the community as a result of any incidents or disaster that may have occurred. And we're very proud to be a participant in that because we want to make certain that we're providing whatever resources are necessary, not only just for homeowners, but for businesses as well, because they are the lifeblood of the economic impact of any community. So we want to make certain that we provide the necessary assistance for those homeowners to repair and rebuild their property, but also to be, a representative for the business community and be a lifeblood for them to be able to be the economic impact and resiliency for the communities come by. You couldn't have a better cheerleader than the representatives that are here, the mayor, the congresswoman, as representatives for this particular community. And we're proud to be a part of that, and as she indicated, we'll be here as long as necessary to support the community. Thank you.
FEMA came 2 days later. I think we got a declaration the day after the tornado, and FEMA came that very next day. FEMA has a huge responsibility as the federal disaster relief agency, for lack of a better word, for the federal government. And FEMA's come a long way. I can truly say that FEMA here in Selma and Dallas County, their efforts have been relentless and very necessary, and we are very grateful. And so, Karen, will you please come on behalf of FEMA just to say a few words?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. FEMA is indeed honored to be a part of the mission to help the city of Selma revitalize, rejuvenate, and recover. From opening disaster recovery centers to identifying public assistance projects to giving rental assistance. When the storm first began, we are now here for the long-term recovery and the revitalization of the city, helping the city find ways to find funding, to address infrastructure issues, and to redevelop its downtown economic area. So we are honored to be a part of this mission. We hope to be here for quite a while. And we thank the city of Selma for having us.
Thank you.
Now, we always rely on the USDA. The United States Department of Agriculture has always been a friend to rural America. And we in Selma and Dallas County are very proud of the fact that we have a native son who grew up just around the corner, just down the road in Nyrie Gordon. He is the State Director for Rural Development for USDA, and he will provide a few words.
Thank you, Congresswoman Sewell, for all that you do to help our rural communities. Certainly, we're happy to be a part of this program. We're certainly, indeed, happy to be here. We're willing to serve, do what we need to do to help Selma recover. I thank all of our federal partners for the communications, the dedication that they provided to us. Thanks again, Congresswoman Sewell.
Barbara, do you want to say anything? We're also here today on behalf of HUD as well as the Selma Housing Authority. Ms. Barbara?
Thank you to Congresswoman Sewell and the outside agency, as well as our Mayor Perkins and our probate judge, Jimmy Dunn, for bringing this program together to enlighten our city on the needs after what took place on January 12th. And of course, the Selma Housing Authority welcome all the resources and anything that we can be involved in providing our residents a better quality of life. And we thank you all.
Thank you. Any questions from the press? And I'm taking questions on this event.
What, are there any monies, federal monies or otherwise, or with the Regional Development Authority that will help address infrastructure in terms of streets and sewage problems in Selma?
You know, the mayor and the city of Selma already has received $15 million from ADEM to get rid of the lead that's in pipes. I'm very proud to say that I voted in favor of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. I was the only member of Alabama's delegation to do so. And that the bipartisan infrastructure bill, President Biden made sure that every state received amounts of money. So the state of Alabama has over $2 billion for roads and bridges and water and sewer and broadband. So we look forward to making sure, working with our state reps and state senator, that we get our fair share here in Selma and Dallas County. Yes.
It was mentioned different challenges that y'all have faced, particularly since the last meeting that we've had here, last press conference. What are some of those examples of different challenges, and anybody can answer, that y'all have faced trying to get more cleanup and more progress?
So I think the biggest challenge is making sure that residents knew where to go to ask for what they needed, and making sure that they turned in all of the proper paperwork to FEMA and to SBA. And it was really important, and it's still important, that we communicate to the residents that what help is out there, and then what information is required, and then let them know that they may have to reapply. You know, you don't accept no for an answer. There's a reason if you apply for assistance and wasn't able to get that assistance. And oftentimes it was lack of paperwork. So we've been working with some nonprofits. We've been working and trying with our elected officials, trying to get the message out that there's still help available to people, and we want people to know that. And they must complete the paperwork in order for the help and assistance to arrive. Yes.
I was enlightened today about the USDA deadline that is a year later. Could you give the people an understanding of the deadlines for those dates and the 6-month deadline for the denial letter for SBA?
So I think that it's really important. I'm going to let Nyrie answer about the specific deadlines and what it involves, but I think people know that FEMA was, if you were uninsured, FEMA was the first place where people went to get help for their repairs. Well, the United States Department of Agriculture also has programs that will allow homeowners to get repairs, and their deadline extended beyond FEMA's deadline. In fact, their deadline is a year to the date of the storm. And with that, I will bring Nairi up to ask more flavor around it.
January 12th, 2024, that will be 1 year from the date of occurrence, so that will be the deadline for the disaster declaration.
You know, we had a real great success story that, Michael, you shared with us. I don't know if you mind sharing it with the media. But you know, one of the business owners here in Selma had been denied an SBA loan, but he reapplied. He sat down with them and they told him what was missing. And I think we have a very, very good ending in that he's now going to donate that property to help uplifting our youth. And so, can you say a little more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Congresswoman. Yes, we had an applicant. His name is Lewis Atkins. He's a local police officer here in the community of Selma who had applied. He had purchased the old candy factory here, a building that he was wondering what was he going to be able to do with it, because as soon as he purchased the building, the storm came in January and almost totally demolished it. So he was of concern in terms of what was he going to do to be able to repair the building and get it up to a level where he could be useful for the community. So he applied for an SBA loan and was initially denied because all of the paperwork was not available. But we continue to work with him, and as we do when we go around talking to communities that have been impacted by storms and disasters, is don't give up. And as the Congresswoman always says, you want to turn that no to a yes. And the only way to do that is to, if you get that, you know, that first letter that says you've been denied, don't stop at that point, because there's other opportunities for you to turn that no to a yes. Just keep coming back and say, hey, let me work with you to fix whatever it is that you did. That's what Lewis Atkins did. And now he's the proud owner of that building, and he's received a substantial loan from the SBA to help him repair and rebuild that building. And he has all kinds of great things that he's going to do to help at-risk youth in the community. He's going to have a place for after-school youth to visit and have a place to go to stay maybe out of trouble or anything like that. So there is a way for you to keep coming back and say, let's take advantage of the opportunities that are here and the resources that are available to you. We encourage people all the time that if you get that no, don't let that be the end. Keep coming back.
Great. So I just wanted to share with you, those are the kinds of challenges that we've had, but we've had great success stories as well.
Are there going to be any reports, you know, on what each agency reported today in this meeting? Will there be any reports that will be shared with the media or the public in the near future?
Well, you know, the coordinating agent, Delta Regional Authority, coordinates the federal agents. I think it's every 2 weeks. It's like twice a month or once a month? Once a month. They have a coordinating meeting. I get a report, but I wanted this opportunity for them to report to everyone broadly. But the city, the county, they get updates from the individual agencies. This was an opportunity as a coordinated effort to bring everyone together so that everyone could hear the same report, and be able to ask questions and ask questions. Look, it's been 8 months since the tornado, and we're not where we want to be, but we are a far cry better than we were that night. And I just want the citizens of Selma and Dallas County to know that we are Selma strong and Dallas County determined and Alabama able, and we will survive this. And we have help we've survived it, and we will have help in our efforts to rebuild this great community. I know personally how great this community is, and I am very grateful for the love, the care, the investment that this community made in me as a young child. And we want to make sure that every citizen, every child of Selma and Dallas County has an opportunity to grow up and be and do whatever they want to do. And so, as the mayor said, this is really about quality of life, right? We are here to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Selma and Dallas County after this tremendous disaster. But we have help, and help is here.
Last question, if anyone has it. Thank you all so
Thanks.
much. Can we keep our principal for a second? We need a